Fear the Walking Dead episode 3. It might be the worst of the three that have aired this season so far. I mean, none of them have been particularly good. In fact, this is still the worst show that I'm watching. It makes everything else look great. Honestly, it makes Rings of Power and Willow look great. Fear the Walking Dead is just another level of terrible. I mean, those shows try, and there's actually weird similarities between Rings of Power and Fear the Walking Dead. There's like uncanny similarities. But anyways, let's see. In this episode, Madison and June run into Daniel. Daniel's like, "Oh, hey, Madison. Cool. You're alive." It's not really like, he's not that surprised. He's not that surprised that even though they're in a totally new part of the country now, they still run into each other, and he thought she was dead. But no big deal. No big deal. The main meat of the story, though, is that we learn who Padre is finally, and it turns out it's Shrike's brother, who is kind of a wimp. We learn their tragic backstory in flashbacks to the start of Padre, and their dad was a general, and he dies trying to save them in a really weird scene where apparently all his soldiers just die off screen. And they've like stowed away on this boat, and when the brother sees that their dad left his lucky binoculars, he like runs to find him, putting himself and everyone else in danger. And he's running around, and the zombies show up out of nowhere, and he's crying, and that's the big bad guy. Well, I guess it's him and Shrike, and they've set up this Padre thing, kidnapping children from their parents, because they lost their dad when they were teenagers. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Other things in this episode, people just always pop out of the bushes, like with guns. Like they're talking, they're with Shrike and her people, and then suddenly Daniel's people pops out of the forest with guns, and then suddenly some of the Padre people pop out of the forest with guns, and they keep on like surprise, aha! Now I've got you, ha! It's like it's so campy and horrible. Mo and Dove, the other girl, figure out that where the train is and something's going on there magically. They magically teleport into the train, past the guards, and save Madison. It, again, makes no sense. At one point, Madison, when they figure out who Padre is, even though they have Shrike hostage, they still just sort of like give up and agree to have her taken back to the train to get bit. It's just so inexplicably terrible. Just awful, 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 unrelentingly awful. I don't even know what to say about it. In the end, like for some reason, the people that are, following Daniel want a new leader, and they think Madison might be that person, but she's like, no, Morgan, he's the one, even though she barely knows Morgan, and the only times that she's had with him, he hasn't been in any sort of leadership role, and has actually even threatened to kill her very recently. And as we know, but Madison may not, but we know that he's a terrible leader. But the showrunners seem to want us to believe that he's like a good leader that hasn't totally screwed things up every single time. Oh, thank God. There's only 9 episodes of this show left. I don't know how these actors have stuck it out so long. I know a lot have left the show, obviously. Alicia Dunham-Carey left at the end of season 7. Rather than just sticking it out to the end, even though Madison was coming back, she left. She was like, no, I'm done. This is too much. We lost a lot of cast last season, actually. I think they were just like, no way, I can't. I didn't realize how bad this was until I got on the show. We still haven't seen Strand or Luciana yet, or some of the other characters, so I'm sure we'll see them all, and they'll all unite, and they'll fight Padre, and Morgan will win the day, and blah blah blah. I don't know how anybody can put this kind of quality of TV out there. I just don't get it. They obviously have a budget. I mean, it still looks, the show looks good. They have some nice cinematography. It has some nice shots. And it just happens to be terrible. The script is like, I don't know. You could give a chimp an AI prompter, and the chimp and the AI could come up with a better show about zombies than these jokers. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say about that. What did you think? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching. Peace.